maybe the most likely outcome at this point?
Everybody's talking about Tommy Lloyd, and Tommy's incredible what he's been able to do at Gonzaga, recruiting for Mark Few. Overseas transfers, he got Nemhard this year. He's gotten so many good overseas players over the years. He's ready. He's ready for a job. And, this is a big one. And, the other thing, Mark Few was close with Lute Olson. And Mark Few told me recently that the two jobs, the main job that he considered was Oregon, but the only other job he kind of considered a little bit was Arizona because of his relationship and just how he felt about Lute Olson and how Lute had built the program in Tucson. There's also a booster, I'm not going to say his name, but one of the top two boosters at Arizona that is also very entrenched in the Gonzaga program in terms of being a huge Gonzaga fan and a booster. So that also has Tommy Lloyd in the mix there. So if they go outside the family, I'd be surprised that Tommy Lloyd isn't the leader right now. I mentioned Mark Pope months ago. I think he'd be really good. A-list personality, done a great job at BYU so far.
A hell of a coach too. A hell of a coach.
Yeah. I think Mark Pope should be in the equation if they're going outside the family. If you go inside the family, it's a tough one for me. I'm going to offend some people, whatever I say here. You've got, again, probably three people. Can I go with one more outside the family that you should probably swing for right now? And just why not? Because his father and brother are 2 hours down the road in Phoenix right now.
I got you.
Okay. So How about they go first after Scott Drew? I don't think he'd do it. How do you do it after winning a title at Baylor? I think he's at Baylor for the long haul. But to me, if there's a swing, why not swing for Scott Drew? Again, Bryce Drew at Grand Canyon University down the road. Homer Drew living in Phoenix with his wife and Scott's mother. I actually joked with him before the game the other night. I ran into him in the concourse, and I said, listen, if something happens, because I've had a pretty good idea this was going to happen with Sean Miller at some point here, for the last week or so, as we've joked about on the pod, right?
Let's put it like this. I've heard about it, and I've heard the rumors. And if I've heard the rumors, then there's a 100% chance that you've heard the rumors too. So,
well, we gave me the job, didn't we? Don't I have the job? Why are we even mentioning anybody else? I've already got the job, and I've already hired. Who did I hire again? Mike Miller, Damon Stoudamire, and Gilbert Arenas. That's my staff. So that's like $300 or $400 million probably in their bank account, and we are going to get stuff done.
Dropping some bags. Bags.
All right, let me get back to it. So Scott Drew would be my first call. Honestly, my first call. He's a national title winning head coach. Again, brother, dad, family live right down the street. He's going to say no. Okay. Next one. I don't know if there's anybody else I'd swing for the fences for. Then you're not calling again. You're not even bothering. I guess you could, call Mark Few because you're going to ask him about Tommy Lloyd anyway. So you might as well call Mark Few and say, hey, I'm calling about Tommy Lloyd, but listen, I know you had interest in this job years ago, a little bit of interest. So if you want it, it's obviously yours. And when you say no, all right, tell me a lot about Tommy Lloyd. I want to figure out exactly. Okay, so we're going to go that route if you're Dave Hickey and Dr. Robbins. And I think Dr. Robbins is ultimately going to make the call here. Hickey needs to figure this thing out too, though, keep his job. Then, to me, at the same time, I'm doing my due diligence on Damon Stoudamire, Miles Simon, Josh Pastner. Those are your three. Josh wasn't even in the equation again until he took Georgia Tech to the NCAA tournament this year. He's a relentless recruiter. But again, hadn't had a ton of success at Memphis and then early on at Georgia Tech. So I'm not sure I'd go that route, to be honest. Then you come down to
neither.
Okay. So then you come down to Damon Stoudamire and Miles Simon. All right. We'll start with Miles. Miles was on staff at Arizona for years, responsible for the biggest win in Arizona basketball history, the most outstanding player when they won the national title. And he's been lately with the Los Angeles Lakers as an assistant coach. So he's got some relationships with a guy named LeBron. That won't hurt, right? And Anthony Davis. That wouldn't hurt if you hired him. I think ultimately he's been out for a little while. He also worked for ESPN for years. So it's been a while since he's been in college coaching, but people know who Miles is because he's done several different things. He's got strong ties on the West Coast to AAU guys. He's been on TV. He's been with the Lakers.
He worked. He was an AAU coach for a while.
That too. So
yeah. I remember very specifically. I think it was with the Cali Supreme. Like I was watching a game where they were playing. I couldn't figure out who a kid was that was because he wasn't on the roster. I remember very specifically going up to him and being like, "Hey, talk to me about this kid over here." So yeah, he's involved. He's
involved. And then you've got Damon Stoudamire. All right. What people don't realize about Damon made $100 million plus. Okay, in the NBA, he was a lottery pick for Toronto years ago. I've known Damon forever, as I've known Miles and as I've known Josh forever. Damon grinded it. Okay, like first of all, he grinded it to get to the NBA. I mean, I don't know how tall he is, but Mighty Mouse was his nickname, right? I mean, he had an unbelievable career at Arizona. Took him to the Final Four, and when he got done coaching, Damon wasn't a silver spoon guy in college. He started his career making nothing as like a volunteer assistant at Rice University. Okay, Rice. Then he went to Memphis, and Josh kind of helped him, showed him, and he was at Memphis for a while. Then he went to Arizona under Sean in the early years and worked for Sean. The last however many years, he's been at Pacific, half dozen years, which is one of the worst jobs, if not the worst job in the WCC, and done a pretty darn good job getting them to the middle of the pack in the WCC. Obviously not beating out Gonzaga. You're not beating out BYU or St. Mary's. After that, he's had them competitive with everybody else. I think, honestly, I would go with Damon Stoudamire. I think, again, a huge name. You bring it back to the Lute Olson regime, and the other part is, listen, right now, the numbers of coaches, black coaches that have been hired in this cycle is double what it's been over the years.
It's more than double. It's like
60%. Yeah, it's almost 60%.
That's like quadruple what it's been.
Right. Yes. So I think that could absolutely factor into this as well, and should factor in. If you have, to me, if right now, if you're, again, as long as you have somebody who's qualified, which Damon Stoudamire absolutely is, Miles Simon absolutely is. I would like to see it be in the family. I love Tommy Lloyd. Again, I think Scott Drew would be my number one, and just take a shot at him. Mark Few would be my number one, I guess, and Scott Drew would be my 1B. But neither one of them are going to take it. And you're going to be at a point where you're looking at Tommy Lloyd or a Damon Stoudamire or a Miles Simon or a Josh Pastner. And to me, again, Tommy Lloyd has never coached. That's a big, big ass jump. And I love Tommy Lloyd. I think he's terrific. I said it on our pod with Borzello and Hummel months ago. Like Tommy Lloyd and Mark Pope were the two names that I brought up, along with the Arizona guys. And I would definitely consider Tommy Lloyd, but I would go with Damon Stoudamire.
Yeah. I don't think you can go wrong with any of those three guys. Right. I think Miles is a great candidate. I think Damon's a great candidate. I think Tommy's a great candidate. If you are going to make me guess on who it ends up being, I think that it ends up being Tommy Lloyd for a lot of the reasons that you had mentioned previously. But I don't think that you can go wrong with any of those with those three guys. And look, I love Pastner. I think that Pastner has done a really good job getting Texas Tech, getting Georgia Tech going again. I would just not. I don't think that he can get it over those three guys. It's mostly just there's too many other good guys that would want that job over Josh at this point. But Jeff, listen, I got to run. I'm glad that we were able to squeeze this in. I'm glad you were able to get your takes off. I'm glad that we could officially announce that you are taking over the Arizona, the University of Arizona basketball program.
There it is.
Bear down, baby.
Bear down.